I became a father at 26 years of age, and a lot of people might say that's too old. Some people might say that's too young, and others would probably say that's like the sweet spot to having kids. But one thing that I realized being a father to a 2 year old son is that I think and I feel like I'm really overprotective in nature. I see myself constantly trying to shield my kid from the world, and I know that it's not going to be so easy, and it's practically impossible to just shield him from all the horrible things that happen in the world. I don't mean overprotective, where if he's climbing or running or trying to go down the stairs or jumping somewhere, I'm like, no, 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 please don't do that. Don't get hurt. No, I actually encourage things like that. I encourage him to explore and to find himself and to have fun and do boy things, I guess you could say. But my thing is that at the end of the day, I feel like the outside world is really a scary place, unfortunately. There's not much safety. There's this element of surprise always when you're outside. Just recently I was basically just driving normally, and like I make a turn and someone that was doing something completely illegal behind me crashes into me. The other day, I'm driving with my wife, and I'm driving and driving, and out of nowhere, some car just pops up out of nowhere. I'm driving 60 miles an hour, and I was this close, like about an inch and a half away from ramming into the car. Thank God I was able to stop. But you get the point where anything can happen at any given moment outside in the real world, and there's nothing that even I can do to control it. And now I wrestle with the fact that I have a kid, and God willing, I'll have more kids along the way. And I have to learn how to navigate their safety. I have to learn how to navigate their wisdom, because nowadays, outside, there's kids that I don't know who raised them. I don't know how they were raised. And if they're going to be interacting with my kid, then I don't know what they're going to teach him. And I don't want them to teach him bad things. And so I feel like it is my absolute duty as a father to do all the correct and proper teaching at home at an early enough age, so that when he does go out in the real world, he'll know that, hey, my father and my mother, they taught me that this is not right. And so maybe and hopefully he will do the right thing in any and every situation that gets thrown at him. This is the same thing that happened with me. I grew up in public school my whole life. I actually remember that when I was a little kid, I was only speaking Russian. Then I finally went to public school. And when I went to public school, I didn't know a single word of English. And so about a week later, I became almost basically fluent in English, because as a kid, you pick up these things really fast. So, long story short, after elementary school, I ended up going to middle school. My first day in sixth grade, I probably learned every single curse word that there is to know in the English language. And I'm just a kid, and I don't understand what I'm hearing. And people are teaching me this, and I'm like, what is that? And so they're explaining to me what these words mean. And I'm just like, okay. And then eventually you start to say these words, and it just like becomes like this domino effect of really bad, and negative people to learn things from. It's just so mind-boggling. But one thing that I am always so grateful for is that when I was a baby, when I was a kid, my first 5 years, I was mainly with my grandma. She was helping out my parents because my parents were immigrants in this country. They were traveling. They were trying to raise us the correct way. So they were constantly on the move, constantly working. So my grandmother, thank God, was here as well. So she kind of helped out for the first 5 years of my life, which I think are the most vital and pivotal moments of a kid's life. And so she instilled really good values and morals into me, so that when it did come time to seeing all this negative stuff, I was able to be like, that's not really my vibe. This is not really what I would do. This is not really where I would go. I would try to go home. Or if I would hang out with people, I'd try to hang out with people that are a little bit more on my level, and people that understand me a little bit better. And even still, it would be so hard, because people come from so many different backgrounds, and people are affected by things so differently, that it's really hard to find yourself a really good group of people that you can call your friends. You know, you have your family, but you don't know who your friends are going to end up being. And so now I'm in the shoes of my own father. Now I know what it feels like to have a kid who's so innocent, he's so pure, he's so good. And now I have to wrestle with the idea that eventually he will become old enough and he will end up going out into the real world and to school, and he'll meet people and he'll probably have friends. And so now I'm just like, how do I guard and protect all that goodness, all that pureness, all that innocence that is still in him? Hopefully I'll do a good job, and I hope that I'm not alone thinking this, because at the end of the day, it is tough. Being a parent is probably the toughest job ever. That's why I salute those people who are stay at home dads, stay at home moms, uh, the grandparents that stay home with the kids, raising them for the first few years. If you have that privilege, or if you've had that privilege, you should find yourself so grateful. And you should be grateful, and you should be happy, and you should be proud that you have a family that is willing to be there for you in all the bad and all the good times. And so I hope that if any one of you that is a parent watching this video, any young adults that don't have kids yet, then maybe, just maybe, you can understand or try to understand the position that your parents are in. But being a parent is really the toughest job that I think is known to man, because you can do all the right things and then you never know. You still never know. And that's the scariest part. So I hope that any parent that's watching this video, I hope that you maybe not only share my same feeling, but hey, I mean, maybe there's some magical solution out there to kind of ease that stress and anxiety of having your kid become this their own person, I guess you can say, becoming their own person. Hopefully we do a good enough job with our children, so that when they get older, they'll have kids of their own and they'll wrestle with these same thoughts and feelings. And hopefully, they will do right by their kids. Ultimately, it is a generational thing. You have to start with really good teaching, you have to progress, you have to really strive in order to make your kids better than you. The most important thing is to try to make them better than you. And that is what I will try to do every single minute of every single hour of every single day for the rest of my kid's life. And hopefully you will too.